There you go. I get some feedback. I like that. You can be interactive, right? That's the idea for us being here today. Again, thank you, Raj. My name is Shane Caudill. I'm the director of the e-procurement bureau for the Commonwealth of Virginia. And if you're not familiar with the e-procurement program that we run, we don't like to say tool or software. We like to say program. It's called EVA, eva.virginia.gov. I'll put my shameless plug out. Just to kind of give you the case study points here real quick before our break. So I'm between you and your break, which is, I don't know if that's good or bad. Just to give you some key talking points, and then I think we're going to go into a kind of a panel discussion. So just my chance to talk here. Just some brief history for EVA. We were implemented way back in March of 2001, if you can believe that. We are software as a service, cloud-based e-procurement tool. So there comes the word tool. But we really feel like we run our program within the Division of Purchases and Supply as a full program. The concept behind EVA, full procure-to-pay system, electronic requisition and ordering, receiving, unsealed informal e-sourcing, sealed e-sourcing, contract management, public posting and electronic notifications, mobile applications, vendor registration portal, integration and interface to a plethora of ERP systems within the Commonwealth of Virginia, and data warehouse and analytical reporting. Again, we are an enterprise e-procurement program that is really an enterprise-wide, but many of our organizations in the Commonwealth run separate financial systems. We do have a statewide financial system, but about 100 plus agencies within the Commonwealth, plus local governments, which we also support, in EVA, are actually exempt from that financial system and are maybe only feeding data after the fact. The agency that I'm actually located in, we maintain and operate our own financial system that we integrate EVA with. Some of our program goals when we got started, and some of these for you guys, depending on your experience in this world, you're going to go, duh, of course these are goals. But it's worth repeating. For us in the Commonwealth, single electronic portal for public bodies and suppliers. We wanted to improve our procurement process efficiency, eliminate redundant procurement systems and manual processes. Our concept was to be enterprise within the Commonwealth. All right. When we started and even now, we're constantly fighting the battle of, well, we want to do our own system. And we're like, no, let's be enterprise. Let's, getting to my next bullet point here, kind of leveraging that buying power that we have across the Commonwealth. And that includes executive branch agencies, legislative, universities, colleges, and local governments. And then kind of a goal that we always talked about that's kind of a developing thing for us, achieving procure-to-pay transparency and accountability. Data. And that's an area where we're even exploring ways to change the way that we do business and how we treat all this data that we create. Some of the metrics, just to give you an idea of our volume: 8.6 million orders with a value of about $70 billion since the beginning, since that March of 2001 date I mentioned. On a fiscal year basis, right now that's working out to about 650,000 orders with a value of right around 6.9 billion on average the last couple of fiscal years. So that's kind of the volume that's coming through. We're servicing 245 agencies, universities, kind of mentioning that audience there, 900 plus local government entities across the Commonwealth, and about 100,000 plus and growing suppliers within our marketplace, with about 15,000 small, disadvantaged businesses, however you want to categorize that, in our community as well. Some results: $30 million per year we figure in savings from competition through sourcing, our contracts, and just the overall efficiencies in our purchasing process. That works out to $398 million or so since that March of 2001 date. This should be pretty commonplace, but I like to talk about it anyway. our order cycle time and the reductions we've seen there, we figure that works out to about $11 million a year in administrative efficiencies just by having automated tools in our system. Some simple things like documented approvals from an accountability standpoint, the ease that this allows procurement to be audited and looked at, and then public access, obviously, to our business opportunities and our purchase order data. One of the strong things we can do within our vendor community is with that, I'm talking $7 billion in spend, discretionary spend coming through our system on a fiscal year basis. Well, obviously that gets vendors' attention and they want to come to us to do business with the Commonwealth. Well, we have our data available to them publicly where they can come in and seeing, are we even buying what you're selling? And that ability to very quickly mine our data and make those decisions if they should even be in our marketplace. Looking into kind of shifting gears, when I talked with Raj and some other things we want to share about lessons learned, and we've been at this a while in the Commonwealth, is just kind of going into making procurement a top priority, or making e-procurement, to even qualify that more, a top priority. We put a big focus on the functionality and where the value was going to be there, and speaking to that value amongst all of the agencies, vendors, and constituents we were trying to serve. We've established a very, very strong team in Virginia. The idea of that team being multidisciplined, multi-skilled. Within that team include experts not only in procurement, but technology and finance, functional business experts as well, depending on the area you're dealing in with your e-procurement tool. The idea of staying collaborative and try your best not to threaten your local autonomy, presenting that tool as a benefit to you and a value, not damaging their ability to do business, set their own policies, procedures, things like that. We were very, very lucky from our perspective that we've been around so long. We had executive, legislative, and leadership buy-in. We kind of pushed from the top, and that's initially how we got ourselves rolled out. We locked in our funding model. This is huge for you guys that are out there. If you don't know your funding model and if it's going to continue, that's going to be a concern and something you need to make sure you address. We were able to do that in the Commonwealth. We initially made use mandatory. So we twisted arms and forced our way in, and then worked to show benefit and value to increase that buy-in, that idea of, hey, we really need you to use this, but here's how it can help you. And that's something that you can't stop doing. We're always talking about our value and how we're trying to make a difference, not only within your procurement organization, but for your organization overall. This is kind of probably something that everybody would go, duh, but cultural change is way more difficult than technical change. I think that's something we found. The idea of changing culture, you're changing the way I do business. I don't want to do this. We've always done it this way. It's not the technology, it's the culture. We developed and required implementation plans to help drive that cultural change, and then we track and monitor usage. All right, so a lot of things we're doing there. Speed is your ally. Time is your enemy. Support and tolerance can run out, and they absolutely have in some cases. Make sure you have a phased approach with everybody you're dealing with. Key in on those modules that are going to drive that benefit and value, and get those in. Be great at the basics, and let some of the more complex things evolve. Pilot agencies and find advocates. That's, again, something else we've done in the Commonwealth. The other thing, I mentioned we're software as a service. We have a partner. That partner is CGI. They consolidate a lot of tools and bring those to us. It's not an advertisement for CGI, but if you do have a partner delivering these tools, you better build a strong relationship with them. Only they can deliver the system. We can help with the cultural change, the training, the implementation, the agency outreach. But when it comes to system, you better have a strong provider there, and they better be lockstep with you when you're doing that. Implementation and beyond, as I wrap up here, you better know the difference between good enough versus perfect. If you expect to be perfect, you will never be successful. Find what's good enough, find the value, be good at it, get it in, and then show the value back to those people through data, savings, efficiencies, whatever it is. Perfect is a goal. It's awesome to have that goal, but it better not be a showstopper for implementation or you'll never get off the ground. Be okay with never really getting there. There's kind of an old quote that says, once you think you've gotten there, that's when everybody else has passed you by. And keep that attitude. Again, and I've said this a million times, focus on value and benefit. Message, 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 message. Communicate. Social media, online webinars, coming to events like this. We do online training, CBTs, agency outreach. We physically go places, anything you can do. With that, allow your users to drive change. You're going to put this stuff in, and then they're going to start asking for things. Well, you could do this better. I've seen this in the marketplace. You better allow for that. You better show that there's buy-in there, that you are evolving. We sometimes use the term in Virginia that we're a continuous improvement project. We like to use that term, that we're continuous improvement. That's because we're getting feedback and leveraging and promoting our user groups to have them do that. Try not to let external forces sidetrack you. Stay focused on your objectives. And again, be willing to adapt and change. All right, be willing to adapt and change. Allow evolution to meet your needs. Adjust as knowledge and expertise grow. Introduce new tools as needs arise. And partner with your procurement, technology, finance, policy, whatever it may be, to make those goals successful. So that, in a really, really quick synopsis before our break, is my quick look and story on what we're doing in Virginia. Thank you.